Hey there everyone, I'm the Comic Nerd, and you're watching my first review. This is the most disgusting thing I've seen in comics, and I've read quite a lot of comics. All in all, I give this comic a 4 of 10.
4 out of 10. 4 out of 10? Look, I know the New 52 wasn't well received 5 years ago. I know my rating system changed a lot since I did my first review. But looking back, this comic wasn't all that bad. Was it? We start off with the cover. Originally, I hated this thing and thought it to be too gruesome, grim, and dark. While I still think it tries to overplay the shock factor, it's not terrible. You've got Batman in the background looking imposing, as if to say he's determined to keep Gotham safe no matter what crazed villains run amok. In the foreground, Joker's head is present with a calmly satisfied expression and blood surrounding his mouth. The two of these images alone would work well. The problem lies with the decapitated doll heads. If you're walking past a comic rack and you glance at this issue, it'll get your attention, but only because the Joker is surrounded by the heads of babies. Only after getting closer do you realize they're not real. True, attention spans aren't what they used to be, and images have to spark interest within seconds. But I feel that decapitated doll heads splattered in blood goes a little too far. Also, this telegraphs that Dollmaker is going to show up. If you're like me, you try to stay free of spoilers until reading or watching what you've been looking forward to. Having the dolls here feels akin to putting the fact that John Connor became a Terminator in the trailer for Terminator Genisys. So yeah, the cover isn't as bad as I originally thought. Maybe the rest isn't.
114 murders over the past 6 years. That's 19 murders a year, and I can pin them all on him, even if the courts can't. Women, children, and men. Asphyxiation, bullets, beheadings, as well as homemade poisonous laughing gas. His modus operandi changes with the wind, and it's been windy in Gotham City.
I like this more than I used to, delving right into the action. Originally, I complained about the lack of an establishing shot. I still think many comics need them. However,
this comic is about the Joker, and it starts a storyline concerning the Joker. The first panel being a close-up shot of his face, along with narration about him, actually works. Further, Batman's comment about it being windy in Gotham City is not as bad of a line as I initially give it credit. It's good and clever, and it states how Joker's killings aren't carried out in any specific way. We cut to the next two-page spread of Batman running on the rooftops, which I love. And he says Joker is the worst kind of killer as he has no pattern.
Except he just said his modus operandi changes with the wind, meaning his pattern has no pattern. Yet another example of Joker not making any sense in the best way possible.
In my first review, I mentioned this is what the comic should have opened with, but now looking back, I disagree. It's starting on the Joker, then cutting to Batman, and then cutting back to the fight displays a sense of urgency for Batman, due to him rushing to make it to where the Joker and this man are fighting before the villain escapes. Joker bites the guy's throat out and grabs a knife, which he uses to stab him a number of times before noticing Batman spying on him and making a quick exit, utilizing an explosion as a distraction.
This starts off as a great interpretation for the Joker. Later we'll find out he's nude while doing this, and it demonstrates his urge to kill and cause mayhem is such a primal desire he feels he needs to do it in the most natural way possible. This exhibits his insanity and bloodthirstiness perfectly. Too bad this is the best we're going to see of him here.
Batman says Joker can't run because he owns the night and moves to chase after him, but is stopped on account of having to help a girl get out of the building. This is when the cops show up, necessitating Batman escape while they get the girl to safety. Over the next few pages, Batman returns to the Batcave for some analysis, and we find out he stood someone up while working to take down the Joker. He tells Alfred he's fond of the girl and asks him to do damage control.
Something else I didn't like at one point that I like better now. I still feel it slows the story down, but it does a good job in portraying Bruce as a man married to the cowl, and willing to harm relationships for the sake of being Batman.
The next two pages have fantastic art and depict a meeting between Batman and Gordon. In this scene, Batman has told the girl in trouble gave the Joker's hideout location, and he leaves to make his way there.
The art is good as I said, but I stand by the comment I initially made.
Showing Batman's cape as he leaves negates the stealth aspect of his character coming and going. The reader is supposed to relate to whomever he's speaking with when they turn around and finish whatever they're saying, and he's not there. Over the next couple of pages, we see Batman heading to Joker's supposed hideout. his internal monologue noting the only reason he let slip where the place was because he had a purpose to do so. And on the next page we find the police barging into the place and quickly falling trapped to a bomb. Batman scans the populace crowding around, mentioning out of the 3 instincts people have in times of a crisis, only one of them is what a guilty person does. Noticing Joker fleeing, Batman follows him to the train where the two of them begin fighting. Joker tries laughing gas, shooting and stabbing Batman, though none of them prevent him from being able to knee the Joker in the head.
You're done, Joker.
Ooh, you think you're so smart. You have no idea.
Anyone else would kill you.
That's your problem, no guts. I, though, don't have that problem, which shouldn't come as a shock to you. It all ends with Batman standing triumphantly over Joker, who says it's been a fun ride. He takes him to Arkham Asylum, and the final couple of pages have Joker sleeping while the doctors look over him before leaving. Soon, though, there's a knock at the door, and Joker reveals he was feigning sleep. The two talk about the man Joker killed before he says it's time for Dollmaker to begin. The comic ends with a shot of Joker's removed face.
This comic is not actually as bad as I first believed.
The final shot of Joker's face is drawn and colored fantastically, and though gruesome, is a great way to present a cliffhanger.
I'll admit, when I first read this, I had nothing but disgust for the choice I made here. But over the last few years, I've matured a little bit and read a lot more comics. Now I see it as a parting shot people will remember and bring them to buy the next issue to see how the story goes from here. I know I certainly remembered it.
That goes for much of the comic on the whole as well. Since it was part of the first batch of New 52 titles, it helped reset the series to a point where new readers could pick it up and not have to deal with decades of mythos to understand. Furthermore, it provided enough for die-hard comic and Batman fans to enjoy. That's not to say there's not problems, though. As I said, the cover goes a little too far, but on the whole, I like it a lot more than I used to. 4 out of 5. As for the story, it set up the resulting arc pretty well, leaving questions that would soon be answered as well as presenting some of what makes Batman a good detective. Like him deducing Joker was the one fleeing the scene of the explosion because that's the instinct of a guilty person, along with showing he's so dedicated to being Batman it's ruining his relationship. This is something other comics have established in the past, but it had to be done again since this began the mythos anew, and it did it well here. 5 out of 5. The art here is excellent too, especially with the wonderful spread in the beginning of Batman leaping over the rooftops in the foreground and a great shot of Gotham in the background. Even just standing behind Gordon is done well, and even when it's not a spread or something designed to be epic looking like the normal panels, the art is good. They also get a 5 out of 5. There are some problems in the pacing as well. As I said, when he goes to the Batcave it slows a bit, and it speeds up a little too much in getting to the bomb going off prior to the train. 3 out of 5. Characterization, while fine for the most part, is the weakest thing here. Though Batman is great, there are points where he makes a few one-liners, such as I own the night, or I've always been Gotham, I am Gotham. This makes it seem like he's a caricature of himself. However, the biggest offender here is the Joker. While he starts great with him insanely biting a chunk of a guy's throat out while nude, and ends well seeing as he has his face taken off in a way that almost explicitly states he found some sexual enjoyment out of it, his time in the rest of the comic leaves a lot to be desired. He's not acting like the Joker outside of those 2 points, he's just acting like a psychopathic serial killer. The bomb and him fleeing the scene are highly out of character for him, and other portrayals of the character would have him stay, admire his work, and even gloat about it in some manner. 2 out of 5.
All in all, it's a 4 out of 5. Much better than the 2 out of 5 I originally gave it. And with that, I'm back to reviewing comics. Next week, I start going through the Nightfall saga.